Summary of the Science of Getting Started, How to Beat Procrastination, Summon Productivity, and Stop Self-Sabotage, Clear Thinking in Fast Action, by Patrick King. Enjoyed the video. Please subscribing to my channel for more great content like this. You'll be notified when I upload new videos. The Science of Getting Started by Patrick King. This groundbreaking book delves into the psychological barriers that hinder productivity and provides practical strategies to break free from self-sabotage. The book explores the psychological factors that contribute to procrastination, such as fear of failure, perfectionism, and lack of motivation. King breaks down the science behind why we struggle to start tasks and provides practical techniques to combat these obstacles. The book is divided into 3 main sections. The first section delves into the root causes of procrastination and the impact it has on our lives. King explains how our brains are wired to prioritize short-term gratification over long-term goals, leading to a cycle of procrastination. The second section offers a step-by-step approach to overcoming procrastination. King introduces the concept of micro-goals, breaking down large tasks into smaller, manageable steps. He emphasizes the importance of creating a positive feedback loop by celebrating small victories and building momentum. The final section focuses on maintaining productivity and avoiding relapse into old habits. King provides strategies for dealing with setbacks, managing distractions, and staying motivated in the face of challenges. He also addresses the role of self-care in sustaining productivity and preventing burnout. Throughout the book, King uses real-life examples and case studies to illustrate his points. He draws on the latest research in psychology and neuroscience to support his arguments and provides practical exercises for readers to implement the strategies discussed. Introduction: Overcome procrastination and boost your productivity. The Science of Getting Started delves into the psychological and biological underpinnings of procrastination, offering a comprehensive analysis of why we delay tasks. It provides practical, science-based solutions to overcome these tendencies, helping you enhance your productivity and achieve your goals by understanding and defeating your inner procrastination triggers. Have you ever struggled with procrastination? If so, you'll probably relate to this story about the author's father. When Patrick King was still in the womb, his father promised to build a special shelf for his unborn child. This project, meant to be completed before King was born, ended up taking nearly 8 years due to constant delays and distractions. His father's breakthrough came when he started breaking the project into small, manageable tasks. Instead of seeing it as an overwhelming job, he tackled it piece by piece, buying nails on one weekend, making measurements on another, and purchasing lumber bit by bit. This approach eventually led to the shelf's completion. The moral? You can beat procrastination if you break down big projects into small tasks. In this summary, you'll learn how to do just that. By understanding the psychology behind why we delay tasks, and by learning specific, actionable techniques, you'll equip yourself to change your habits and achieve your goals more efficiently. So let's get started. The psychology behind delaying tasks. Imagine you're sitting on your couch. You know you have a pile of work to do, but instead of getting on with it, you reach for the remote. Why does this happen? It's not necessarily because you're lazy or unmotivated. There's a deeper cycle at play. Procrastination has been a part of human behavior for centuries. The word derives from the Latin word procrastinare, the prefix meaning forward and the suffix meaning till next day. And we get in the habit of putting things off till the next day at an early age, like when you chose to build a Lego castle instead of doing your homework. It becomes a persistent shadow, always lurking and encouraging you to delay important tasks in favor of immediate pleasure. Understanding this cycle is key to overcoming it. The procrastination cycle consists of 5 stages: unhelpful assumptions, increasing discomfort, making excuses, engaging in avoidance activities, and dealing with consequences. These stages create a loop that traps you into repeatedly putting things off. For instance, you might think, life is short, I should enjoy it, which leads to discomfort when you consider tasks like washing the car. This discomfort spurs excuses like, it's too hot outside, and you end up doing something else, like cleaning the bathroom. While this makes you feel productive, the car remains dirty, and the cycle continues. The struggle between your impulses and your rational thought plays a significant role here. Your brain has 2 parts: your limbic system, which seeks immediate pleasure, and your prefrontal cortex, which handles rational decision-making. Your limbic system is fast and automatic, pushing you toward activities that release dopamine, the pleasure chemical. In contrast, your prefrontal cortex is slower and requires effort, often making it the losing side in this internal battle. You might find that impulsivity also drives your procrastination. Traits like urgency, lack of planning, lack of perseverance, and sensation-seeking make it harder to stick to tasks. For example, the sudden urge to check social media can derail your focus, leading you to spend hours online instead of working. This impulsivity is similar to behaviors exhibited by people with ADHD, where immediate desires overshadow long-term goals. To combat procrastination, consider the HALT method. Check if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. These states make you more prone to poor decisions. Addressing them can help you regain control. Deficiencies in 9 traits can also make you more prone to procrastination. These include inhibition, or your ability to control impulses, self-monitoring, which involves being aware of your own behavior, planning and organization, essential for managing tasks, activity shifting, or your ability to move smoothly between tasks, task initiation, your ability to start tasks, task monitoring, which involves keeping track of progress, emotional control, important for managing your stress levels, working memory, necessary for holding information, and your general orderliness, which helps keep your environment conducive to productivity. Bearing all these factors in mind, reflect on your own habits. What excuses do you make to avoid tasks? Are you letting immediate pleasures sabotage your long-term success? By examining these questions, you can begin to change the patterns that hold you back. Overcoming indecision and inaction. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads. You know exactly what you need to do but feel paralyzed by the many choices and distractions around you. This state of indecision and inaction is something everyone faces, often leading to procrastination. To tackle this challenge, you need to develop a mindset that promotes productivity and counteracts procrastination. Let's start by considering how Newton's 3 laws of motion apply to your behavior. Picture yourself as an object at rest. You tend to stay at rest unless an external force moves you. This is Newton's first law. The hardest part is often taking that first step. Once you start, you're likely to keep going. So, the key is to find ways to initiate action. One effective strategy is the 2-minute rule. Commit to starting a task within 2 minutes of thinking about it. For example, if you need to write a report, start by jotting down the title and objectives. This small action can break the inertia and get you moving forward. Next, think about how you direct your effort. According to Newton's second law, the amount of force applied to an object affects its acceleration. Just as a force applied in a specific direction accelerates an object, your focus determines how effectively you accomplish tasks. Scattered efforts lead to minimal progress. Imagine you have multiple tasks to complete, emails to reply to, a research plan to critique, and a recommendation letter to write. If you keep switching between these tasks, you achieve less. So focus on one task at a time to maximize your productivity. Newton's third law tells us that, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. In your life, productive and unproductive forces constantly interact. Positive forces like a conducive environment and motivation push you forward, while distractions and stress pull you back. To enhance your productivity, you can either add more positive forces, like energizing activities and motivational content, or reduce negative forces by simplifying your environment and minimizing distractions. For instance, if you need a quiet space to work but sit between chatty colleagues, consider moving to a quieter area or politely asking for some quiet time. Another factor that hampers productivity is the paradox of choice. Having too many options can overwhelm you, making it harder to make decisions and leading to procrastination. Imagine trying to choose between multiple research grants to apply for. The pressure to make the best choice can paralyze you, resulting in no action at all. To combat this, set clear rules for decision-making. Focus on 1 or 2 key factors when evaluating options, set a time limit for your decision, and choose a default option to fall back on if no better alternative appears. This reduces the mental burden and helps you move forward. Lastly, understand that motivation often follows action, not the other way around. Waiting to feel motivated before starting a task can keep you in a perpetual state of inaction. Instead, start working on your task, and you'll find that motivation comes naturally once you see progress. For instance, if you're reluctant to start a project, just begin with a small part of it. As you make headway, your motivation will increase, making it easier to continue. So, the next time you find yourself stuck, remember these strategies. Start small to get moving, focus your efforts intentionally, balance productive and unproductive forces in your life, simplify your choices, and let action drive your motivation. How will you take the first step today to overcome procrastination and boost your productivity? Building motivation through action. You have a big project and it's due soon. Try as you might, you just can't seem to get started. You keep waiting for the right moment or the perfect mood to strike. Why is it that you find yourself like this, yet others don't? Here's the secret: successful people don't wait for inspiration. They start working, and the motivation follows. By taking action first, you create the momentum needed to keep going. When you need to tackle a task, set a low threshold to get started. Instead of committing to a massive goal, break it down into something so simple that it feels effortless. For example, if you need to create a presentation, start by just writing the titles of each slide. This small step makes the task feel manageable and gives you an easy win, helping you build momentum. Another technique to help you get started is to focus on the process, not the end product. Think of a Japanese tea ceremony, where every step is done with care and respect. It's not just about making tea, it's about the process itself. Apply this to your tasks by breaking them into smaller, manageable chunks and scheduling them over time. This way, you won't feel overwhelmed by the big picture and can concentrate on completing one small part at a time. It's also important to forgive yourself for past procrastination. Blaming yourself for not starting sooner only adds to the stress and makes it harder to begin. Instead, acknowledge your slip-ups, forgive yourself, and move forward. Research shows that people who forgive themselves for procrastinating are less likely to do it in the future. Shift your mindset from focusing on the problem to thinking about the solutions. Omission bias is another hurdle to overcome. This is when you don't see the consequences of not doing something. For example, it's easy to understand the negative effects of eating junk food, but harder to see the risks of not exercising. To combat this, visualize the negative consequences of your inaction. By vividly imagining the future problems caused by procrastination, you can motivate yourself to start working. Now take a moment to think about your future self. Picture how your future self will feel if you complete the task or if you don't. Will you feel proud and accomplished, or stressed and regretful? By connecting with your future self, you can make better decisions now that benefit you later. Finally, use if-then statements to create a plan. Decide in advance that if a certain event happens, then you will take a specific action. For example, if it's 3 p.m., then you'll start working on your task. This method ties your goals to concrete moments in your day, making it easier to follow through. Studies show that people who use if-then plans are much more likely to succeed because the decision is made beforehand, reducing the need for willpower in the moment. So, next time you find yourself procrastinating, try these tactics. Set a low threshold to get started, focus on the process, forgive yourself, visualize the negative consequences of inaction, think about your future self, and use if-then statements. These psychological tricks can help you overcome procrastination and become more productive. What small step can you take right now to get started on your task? Structuring your day for success. It's a perfect day. Your alarm goes off, and you get out of bed, already knowing what your day looks like. Instead of being ambushed by procrastination, you have a clear plan to make steady progress toward your goals. But procrastination can sneak up like a ninja, stealing your time before you even realize it. To prevent this, structuring your day and creating a schedule is essential. This strategy might not be foolproof, but it significantly increases your chances of success. First, commit to avoiding 0 days. A 0 day is when you do nothing to advance your goals. This concept can apply to any time segment, an hour, a day, or even a week. The aim is to ensure every day includes at least one action, no matter how small, that moves you closer to your objectives. Even tiny steps count. If you write only 2 sentences for a project or read a single paragraph related to your research, you've made progress. This approach helps break the cycle of procrastination and creates a string of productive days. Next, employ self-interrogation techniques to combat procrastination. When you feel the urge to delay a task, ask yourself specific questions. What is one thing I can do to get started? What are my top 3 priorities today? How can I make this task easier? What will go wrong if I don't do this now? These questions help break tasks into manageable steps, prioritize your activities, and create a sense of urgency by considering potential negative outcomes. Writing down a detailed schedule is another powerful tool. Instead of winging it through your day, arrive with a clear plan. Identify your tasks, assign specific times to each, gather the necessary resources, and choose the locations where you'll complete these tasks. For instance, if you have a meeting from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., use the time before it productively by scheduling another task. This method helps you visualize your day, making it easier to transition from one activity to another smoothly. Try to live by your calendar. Account for all 168 hours in a week to know exactly what you should be doing at any given moment. This practice can enhance your efficiency and reduce distractions, keeping you on track with your schedule. Lastly, consider limiting your information consumption. While consuming information often feels productive, it can sometimes be a subtle form of procrastination. Be conscious of how you spend your time on media, whether it's social media, books, or TV shows. Cut down on unnecessary information that doesn't directly contribute to your goals. By reducing the noise, you can focus your time and energy on what truly matters. As you reflect on these strategies, think about your own habits. Do you often find yourself losing track of time on social media or when watching TV? What small steps can you take today to avoid a zero day? By structuring your day, asking the right questions, scheduling tasks, and limiting distractions, you can better manage your time and achieve your goals. Conclusion. In this summary to The Science of Getting Started, by Patrick King, you've learned that procrastination is a common challenge that can be overcome by breaking tasks into manageable pieces, understanding the psychological cycles behind delaying tasks, and implementing effective strategies to initiate action. You now know the importance of setting small, achievable goals, focusing on the process rather than the outcome, and creating a structured schedule to avoid 0 days. By visualizing the consequences of inaction and using techniques like the 2-minute rule and if-then planning, you can develop a mindset that promotes productivity. Remember, the first step is often the hardest, but once you start, momentum will follow. Apply these strategies today and take control of your time and goals. Don't wait for the perfect moment, start now and watch your productivity soar.